as well.
Oh, who scored first?
Aston Villa.
Sorry.
Liverpool fan.
Oh.
Ready?
What's that? Arne, first of all, just check on Joe Gomez and Cody Gakpo. How are they? What's the latest?
I think both are not available for tomorrow. Cody is close to being back, and Joe will take quite a long time. He's going to be out for numerous weeks because of a hamstring injury.
Big blow for Joe.
Yeah, and for us.
How's he
But
doing?
first of all, of course, for him, because he tries to do everything to be with the team. He worked really hard to come back, and then first game when he came back, after 2 or 3 minutes, we saw him making a sprint, and now he's out for weeks again. So, yeah, that's always very hard for a player in every part of the season, let alone in the part of the season where everybody is looking forward to.
We've obviously got the chance to go 10 points clear with this game against Villa. It's Villa away, City away, Newcastle at home. And we can look at it and think you've got a real opportunity over the next week to take a real step towards sealing the Premier League title. So how do you see it?
I see it as 13 games to be played, and the next game to be the most important one, starting with Villa away, which is like Wolves at home, again a difficult game for us, but for everyone. They have a great home record, maybe even more if they play in the evening. So we know that it's going to be a challenge, but we have quite an okay away record as well this season. We've done quite okay this season in general as well, so it's a game I think for everyone to look forward to see these two sides playing against each other.
What have you made though of Villa of late? Because they've not won a Premier League game since middle of January, and that was against Everton. And in that time they've drawn with Arsenal, drawn with West Ham, drawn with Ipswich, but also lost at Wolves.
If you win against Everton, that's a special accomplishment, isn't it?
I don't know what you mean.
They are in an extremely good run of form at the moment. No, but they did beat Celtic at home in an evening game 4-2. So I think Villa away, when you get the fixture list, you all know that Villa away is one of the tougher ones you can face. And but last season was also a very interesting game with it ending 3-3, if I remember correctly. So very good manager, always has a very good game plan. They brought in quite a lot of good players in the winter break as well, and they already had a very good team. They qualified for top 8 in the Champions League, so it tells you that it's a strong team we are going to face. But yeah, that's where I started with. Wolves at home was also tough for us, so there is every game in this period of time for every team in the league is difficult.
Thank you. Good luck.
Morning. One of the players they brought in recently was Marcus Rashford. I'm sure he'll be desperate to play in this game. Is he someone you'd have to pay particular attention to as he obviously tries to revitalise his career?
Yeah, the first time, of course, I know Marcus Rashford because I followed the Premier League, but the first time I faced him real life was in the USA tour. And I was impressed. I was really impressed how fast he is, how he has a nice height. He's comfortable with the ball, so I think he's a very good player, and I hope for him as well that he's going to show that at Villa. Of course, I'm not hoping that he will do this tomorrow, but I would be completely surprised if a player of that quality is not going to show this in the upcoming months, because yeah, he's a very good player in my opinion.
It was obviously nervy at the end against Wolves. Is that only natural though at this stage in a title race, and is it anything? Can you do anything to affect that?
I think it is because we are going to the end of the season, and not because of us, but because of what people make of it. Because we've played more games at home or away that we led by 1 goal, and in the end it was also tight. So I can remember Crystal Palace away, where it was really tight in the end, and we had to and Vitória's had to make a big save to secure the win. And we didn't even need a big save now to secure the win. But yeah, if then this happens in the end of the season, people, you guys, are going to talk about nerves. But yeah, secure a win in the Premier League, if you are only leading by 1 goal, is always going to be a lot of defending and a lot of hard work. Yeah, and during large parts of the season, it's just hard work. And in the end part of the season, we talk about nerves. Not me, but a lot of people talk about nerves then.
Arne, when you won the title with Feyenoord in the run-in, I think it was 5 times in 6 games where you won by 1 goal. So I'm just wondering, what experiences can you call upon from that run-in to potentially help this season?
I think it always helps if you've experienced it already, and that's not only for me, that's also for the players. But it's difficult to take things from that period of time towards this period of time, different players, different opponents, different leagues. So, but it tells you, again, what I've said so many times, that in the end phase of the season, it is a lot of games are really tight. It's not only ours. If I just look at all the results, I even saw yesterday playing Barcelona, which is a team I admire a lot and play really good football this season. But they, in the end, they were close to conceding the 1-1. So it is the end phase of the season where results like this are quite common, like in our title-winning season with Feyenoord as well. It tells you that you have a team that fights till the end, and these games you need to win if you want to achieve something.
I know we're focusing on the 1-goal margins, but one player that came on Sunday and did really well in achieving that was Wataru Endo, and that was only his 4th game of the season in the Premier League, where he's played more than 10 minutes, excluding stoppage time as well. Just wondering, how crucial do you see someone like him being in terms of seeing out games towards the end of the season when, as you say, it could be so tight?
I think Wataru has been really useful for us this season. It's not always a matter of how many minutes you play. You can be very important in 2 minutes, and you can be less important in 90 minutes. But what makes Wataru special, in my opinion, is every time we have to rely on him, if it's 5, 10 or 20 or 25 minutes, he shows up. And that sounds much more simple than it is, because if a player hardly hasn't have a lot of playing time, then to be mentally so strong that if the team needs you, you can bring your best performance. And that's not always easy, because mostly you see players that don't play a lot find it difficult to get their rhythm or their quality in the less playing time they get. The only thing is, defending is always more easy than creating. So if you play a player that hasn't played for a long time and it has to create something, and he has to create something, is always more difficult than defending. But he's been important for us, and he will be important for us in the upcoming weeks as well.
We've heard already the talk about nerves and pressure and the running starting. I'm just wondering, with the experience of the players you have in the dressing room who have been there and done it already, how much do you lean on them to deal with it themselves, or pass on that experience to people, and how to handle it?
Now, we lean a lot on the players, because we train with them, we try to prepare them. I give them a pre-match meeting to try to prepare them in the best possible way. But from that moment onwards, you lean on the players. How much work rate do they want to put in? How well do they execute the game plan? Do they adapt to what the other team does? So yes, you always adapt on players, and I think it helps you if a team or a player already won something, but don't make that too big, because you still have to play for it. And you can't compare the circumstances. So the ones that won the league here already, that was in Corona time, without fans being in the stadium, they were, if I'm correct, at a certain point 25 points up. Yeah. So you can hardly talk about pressure then. Although I'm a type of manager, if there are 10 games to be played and I'm 25 points up, I still feel like, oh, we have to win too. But no, there's hardly any pressure then. But we do lean on the players because they have to show up and they have to bring the performances in, but not in a manner that they are today, tomorrow, or whatever date they do present a meeting on how to deal with with the pressure. No, that's not how it works.
But the players you've got in there, thinking of like Virgil, Alisson, that they are so experienced and they've had that level of experience to be able to just sort of put it all to one side and just concentrate on the job.
Yeah, no, but it helps not in a sense of that they've won the league here maybe, but it helps that they are used to playing big games in their careers with a lot of pressure. There's also for Maka, who's won the World Cup. So players that are used to playing in those kind of environments. So, for example, Everton away is a hostile environment. It helps if you've already experienced this once or twice. So that's why it was so good for Conor Bradley, because I think it was his first to experience it. And I assume next time he played quite okay, but will only play better the next time, because you get more and more used to big games. And that is one of the things what very talented players need to have. They need to have playing time, and it's mostly more comfortable if you play at home at Anfield and everything you do, fans cheer for you. Where if you play an away game, if you do something very well, fans don't cheer for you. So that is something a player has to go through, and the more experience you have in playing big games, the better it is. But some young players don't have maybe the experience of big games, but they make the right decisions because of quality. So we must not overvalue experience, but it does help in certain situations.
Hi Arne, you mentioned after the Wolves game that there's more of a mental toll of the recent games rather than necessarily a physical toll. Considering the play you're playing at the moment every 3 or 4 days, is it actually harder to get the players to reset and recharge mentally than it is physically? Because obviously they can sit in an ice bath or recharge, but they might still be thinking about the last game or the next games to come.
Yeah. No, it depends on how the last game went. And that's why I said after the Everton game, it wasn't a surprise to me that the players weren't tired, but they were more tired than they maybe were in previous games, because the Everton game, the way that game went, all the things that happened during that game, and then especially in the last 8 minutes, that costs a lot of energy for everyone that was involved. That's why you can't compare tomorrow with last Sunday. I think we had a good win. We didn't play our best football, but to go away with a win gives us different reaction than after the Everton game, where we eventually conceded in the last second with so many things happening. That probably was the reason why we were not that much, and not everyone, because I think if I had only 1 or 2 players in my mind that looked a bit exhausted, the rest didn't. But
so on the other side of that, the fact that they were able to come through a similar challenge against Wolves that they face against Everton, will that give them maybe a mental boost going into these next 2 tough games against Villa and Manchester City?
I think we managed many times already to get a win over the line, where I think we won quite a lot of games with 1 goal difference. I'm not even sure, but I think we did. But there were also moments, Newcastle away, where we conceded in the last minute, Man United at home, where we conceded I think 5 to 10 minutes before the end. And now this game, these things happen in a strong league as well, that you sometimes concede a goal in the last minutes of the game. Of course, it gives us confidence that we this time brought the win over the line. Again, like the Everton game, we didn't give anything away in the last 20 minutes. Till the moment at Everton, we all remember. We do take confidence from both last 20 minutes, because we had a certain feeling about the goal we conceded as well. So both games give us confidence, but it definitely helps that we didn't concede in the same manner as we conceded against Everton in the last minute.
James?
Just on Joe, is there any danger he'll miss the rest of the season?
He will miss large part of the end of the season, but we expect him to be back in the end phase of the season. Yes.
Will he need surgery?
He might, but that's something we still have to assess. Yeah.
Sunday, Joel Jota made his first Premier League start since October. He's obviously has injury issues, and you've been managing his minutes when he has been available. If you can keep him fit from now until the end of the season, just what role can he play? Because we all see how good he was before he picked up that injury against Chelsea.
Yeah. A role like many others. So he's done so well before his injury, and I think I've said it during the weekend. I couldn't even remember when his last start was for us in the Premier League. So I think we've missed him 3-4 months when it comes to a start. I always look at you if it's what's that.
Chelsea game in October.
Chelsea, no, that's a long way back. So we've missed the number 9 that played in the first 7 or 8 games every single game. almost for 3 or 4 months. But now he's back, and he played 60, and with these amount of games we play now, you don't expect him to play 90 in the upcoming 3. But he will be involved in hopefully all the 3 games, and hopefully with a lot of minutes as well.
Thanks, Arne.
You're welcome.
Okay.